That's a piece of music that appeared on Yazoo Bass and Boogie, an album in the 60s or 70s by Stefan Grossman. We're not going to really learn this piece of music, we're just going to play the very first part of it. But I want to use this piece of music to talk about the dance that occurs between the fingers and the thumb. We'll leave Jim there frozen in space for a while with his mouth open. He looks good like that. Even though we're not going to learn this piece in great detail, we're just going to look at the first 2 or 3 phases to try and get some idea of the dance between the thumb and the fingers. We'll just take a look at the chords that we use so that you know what kind of progression we're using. We have a basic G chord, and where would G chord be without G7? We have a C, a simple C chord, and then a full C chord where both the bass notes are held down. Sometimes if we're holding the basic C chord down, our finger might move over to the bass E and form the chord that you see at the beginning of the second row. And then we have C7, a normal A7 with a bar on the 2nd fret, and then half of a D7. I always play D7 on the basis that if I don't play the last note, then I don't fret it. And here we have 4 variations on the F chord. You can see that mostly the F chord is played not as a full chord, but played in a way that leaves a little finger free to move around on the treble strings. Listen to the music again and try and separate the thumb beat and the treble beats. We can hear there's 2 things going on. We can hear the thumb beat and the nice melody on the trebles. The thumb beat is actually sounding like this. So we can see that instead of just alternating on the basses simply, it's dancing itself, it's making its own little tune. And at the same time, the basic melody sounds like this. Which is very simple, but of course when we add both the bass and the thumb beat and the finger beat together, we introduce this lovely syncopation between the 2 melodies. It's a little bit more complicated than that, because at the moment we're playing the melody with 1 finger, and it sounds like this. In order to make the music more interesting, so instead of playing the basic melody with 1 finger, we start to introduce a 2nd finger and introduce grace notes in between the main notes. This is how it sounds with 1 finger playing the melody, and this is with a couple of grace notes thrown in before the main notes. Now this means instead of using the first finger for the melody the whole time, we'll be using the second finger because the first finger will be hitting the grace note before it. If we introduce too many grace notes, then it becomes overcomplicated and it loses its attractiveness. So we need to use them sparingly and just include them where they're attractive. And of course we can vary where these grace notes appear so that we can add variations throughout the music. Anytime you start to learn a new piece of ragtime music or any kind of music that needs you to alternate the thumb, bear this in mind and work out how you can make the thumb more interesting. Introduce some syncopation, make your thumb dance a little bit. In this way you could raise your music above the average. Just take it a little notch above, and this is the way that you'll progress. Have fun. I'll see you next time.